Hello. Thanks for joining me today about an important initiative that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is getting coverage for children who have birth defects, otherwise known as congenital anomalies. I'm Dr. Seun Adetayp, and I'm a pediatric plastic surgeon and a craniofacial surgeon. It's a pleasure for me to be here today because you can make a difference. Did you know that 1 in 38 children in the state of New York are born with a congenital anomaly? Many times, the children and their families are unable to get the care that they need in order to be able to restore them back to normal function as a result of these birth defects, also known as congenital anomalies. I started to get involved with this as an advocacy effort when one of my patients, Carter, had his surgery care denied. And by the way, Carter and his mom, Jen, and his family have given consent to be able to use their name in this video. And this is where this journey all started. I, as the surgeon, got the notification the day before surgery from the insurance company that coverage for Carter's surgery will be denied. You see, Carter had a cleft lip and palate that had been repaired, and these surgeries and medical treatment go on from the time of birth until adulthood. It was felt that Carter's surgery was not necessarily life or death, and as such, coverage was denied. I remember calling Jennifer and her husband the day before the surgery to break this news to them, which, as you can imagine, was heart-wrenching. And at that point, the family was so frustrated with the system. And I remember them saying to me, you know what, we're just going to pay for the surgery. And I could really understand their frustration and the sadness that came along with this. And I had a heart-to-heart discussion with both parents. And I said, you know what, first of all, this is a condition that Carter was born with. He did not choose to have a cleft lip and a cleft palate. And we have things that we could do to help restore form and function back to him. If you pay for this surgery now, you may have to cover the cost out of pocket for the rest of his growing years. Another chord that it really struck with me was that Jen was not the only one going through this. I had many other fathers and mothers who were in the same situation where they couldn't get care for their children. And so at that point, I talked to Jennifer and Carter and I said, well, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to find a shortcut solution and just pay for the surgery. But what we are going to do is try to fight back, and this was how the journey in advocacy began with Carter. And Jen really rose up with her family to be able to write letters to her district members, assemblymen, senators, assemblywomen, to really get things changed. And this is how this journey began. And I'm glad to report that this has really snowballed even into a greater effect, not just with Carter, but that initially Carter's law, which was the term we coined it, is now going to expand to really accomplish the same thing for many children who are going through congenital birth defect and needing medical and surgical care, not just for the cleft lips, the cleft palate, and the craniofacial conditions that I treat, but also children with additional congenital anomalies that they're born with. And so the journey that started several years ago is now coming to culmination with patients like Carter, families like Jennifer, the New York State Society of Plastic Surgeons, and regional and national efforts. On February 25th, I want you to go to 1in38.org. Again, that website is 1in38.org, and vote in favor of this legislature that is going to allow the state of New York to be able to provide care for children who are born with congenital anomalies. And while this work happened while I was in the state of New York, my hope and my desire is that this will be a starting point and we will see this sweep other states across the nation. So you can make a difference. On February 25th, go to onein38.org and vote in favor of legislation that will allow children with cleft, craniofacial, and other congenital anomalies to get the care that they need and they deserve. Thank you.